You understand, I have explained so much. The net of desires is indeed the net of time. That is what it is. Because desire is time, the psychological time. You have to see how it is operating. The moment you desire something, you have created time, the psychological time. So, like, I will do this worship and I will go to heaven. Heaven is not now. Already you have killed any little possibility of making the present into heaven. That is not possible anymore, because heaven is in the future only, it is not in the present. So whatever is in the present is not heaven, and heaven is in the future. You have created the time, the psychological time, and you are caught in it. Therefore, you step out of the net of desires, means the step out of the net of time. And then freedom from fear. People live in fear, perpetual fear. They don't know how to be free from fear. The most powerful president of a country, most powerful president in the entire world, is also insecure, because there is a probe going on, something. These probes, you never know. It is like a bolt from the blue. The probing guy seems to be a very simple guy. You never know what he is going to say finally. Even he doesn't know. It is a very funny dynamic it is. And therefore, nobody is secure. Everybody is insecure. Only Atmajnani can be secure, free from fear. That is freedom, no fear. No fear of anything, no fear of any kind, no fear of the future, no fear of death, no fear of God. Why should you fear God? You don't fear God, you love God. Fear of God is not bhakti. Bhakti is love. Love of God is bhakti. In fact, fear and love cannot go together. You want your wife to be afraid of you? Is that love? That is not love. They don't know love. The wife may oblige for a while. She is intelligent enough that she obliges for a while. And then you get it back with interest. Samsara is like that. Therefore, that is not... So freedom from the very fear itself. No fear, no insecurity, no worry. Can there be such a state of mind? Can there be such a state of consciousness in which no worry at all? No worry. Swami Vivekananda said, I don't know where from my next square meal comes, yet I am not concerned. Therefore, a total freedom from worry, fear, anxiety, insecurity, all same, different shades, freedom. And then third, there is a sense of freedom, not anything from particular, not from anything particular, but an undefined, indefinable sense of freedom, like space-like. Space is free, you can say, but space is free not in a particular sense. It is free in a sense that cannot be defined. So, like a bird flying in space, it is free. Free from what? Sometimes you may be able to define, but sometimes you need not define. It is free, that is enough. It is free. Need not be from something. That kind of a freedom. Means freedom relative to something. No. Freedom, that's all. That is moksha. It begins with freedom from desire. Freedom from desire eventually leads to freedom from fear. That culminates in a general experience of freedom as one's own swarupa. That is moksha, that is the freedom. And I want that. That is uttitirshuhu. So, that is how the student approaches the teacher. After a long study, very interesting, Acharyo Bruyat. Bruyat means it is vidhiling. Means the teacher has to say like this. But then you can say, may say, like that. These lakaras sometimes they are changed appropriately. The teacher may say, acharyaha may say. Acharya, there is a definition. You must be knowing it. Achinoti cha shastrartham acare sthapayatyapi swayam acharate chaiva acharya uchyate. Some word in between. So the one who presents the vision of the Shastra, Shastra is Upanishad, the vision of the Shastra in a very clear terms, in very clear terms, that is called Acharya. Achinoti iti Acharyaha. So pulls out the vision of the Shastra and presents it in a way that it can be assimilated. That is Acharya. And then helps the student to live that vision. Acharya sthapayatyapi. Not only just giving the principles of the vision, so enunciate the vision in clear terms and walk away. Not like that. Also help live that vision. And thirdly, who lives the vision? Himself or herself. That is the Acharya. Okay? So, that Acharyaha bruyat. He may say like this. Ehaiva tava somya mrutasya shariram vayobhiradyate murudbhavam va apadyate. You see, he has already took to sannyasa, and therefore it is not cremated. That's why you don't find the word cremation there. So, dear son, hey Somya, as and when you die, so we are not afraid of discussing death. We are not afraid of death. In fact, we love death. The one who loves death only knows how to live. People who are afraid of death are also afraid of life. Therefore, we are not afraid of death. Swami Vinoba Bhave made an interesting comment. He said, is this the society which gave birth to Gita? He said like that. Gita is one text which dispels the very fear of death. And look at these people. Look at these Vardis. How afraid they are of death. Is this the society in which the word death itself is a bad word that cannot be uttered? You should not think of death, you should not speak of death. Speaking of death is considered inauspicious. What a society that we are in. Is this the society that gave birth to Bhagavad Gita? This is what Vinoba Bhave commented in those days. His book, Gita Pravachanam, is there. In that you can see the comment. Therefore, we are not afraid of death. Therefore, the Acharya, maybe an elderly person, age-wise, and then the student is young, he is asking the young student, as and when you die, dear son, as and when, Somya, as and when you die, what will happen to your body? Did you ever pay attention to that? Meditate upon it. There is a meditation. So many meditations are there. But people get disturbed. That's why I am holding back. Really. So you meditate upon the body as and when it dies. What will happen to it? You meditate. You know what will happen, more or less. Details are not important, but general terms you know what will happen. So if he is a sannyasi, what will happen to the body? So, mrudbhavam apadyate. It will be buried in a hole. So Kabir said, so this person, he is a kumhar, means a kumbhakaraha. Hey kumhara, means a kumbhakara, you are pounding me with your feet. The clay says, mitti kahe. Mitti kahe. The clay is telling, hey kumhara, oh potmaker, you are round rahe ho, you are beating me down underneath your feet. Do it. ऐसा वक्त एक आएगा, one moment will come like that, जब मैं तुमको गाढ़ूंगा, when I will cover you up. That is the mitti says. We should learn from the mitti. If the other person is trying to browbeat you, chalo, do it. Do it. You want to browbeat me? Do it. A day will come when you will know that you have made a mistake. So similarly, the mitti says, you are pounding upon me, come on, do it. I will cover you up. So that is what will happen. And when the body is covered up, is buried in a hole, what will happen to the body? It becomes mitti. It becomes the clay. It merges into the clay. Like the proverbial tomato. The tomato is, I told this tomato a few times, the tomato is, when these Swamis die, they bury them all around. And they put tomato plants. And so you get tomatoes. Why to waste them? Put it into the sambar. Now you know what the tomato is. The Swami has come back now as the tomato. Really. And this new Swami eats the tomato. So the new Swami becomes the next generation tomato. Mrudbhava mapadyate. And one Mahatma used to bring a tomato and put it on the table and say, this is the earlier Swami, and eat it. And then you will all eat the tomato that I am going to become. Life is like that. You want to sanctify the body? Is that what you want to do? Silly, I tell you. Don't try to sanctify the body. It is mitti hai. It is nothing but clay and merges into clay. Or vayobhirapadyate. This is the Parsi system. So it is recommended for sannyasis also. So take the jala is not mentioned here. Put into the river is not mentioned. Maybe that is not the right thing to do. We don't know. That is what they do in Rishikesh. Government has put a ban. Don't do it. Now, before government puts ban, we should wake up, right? But when we refuse to wake up, therefore government has put a ban. Government is a soft government. It may not seriously implement the ban and all that in India. But then you should know. So the other way is take it the Parsi method. They take it to an elevated ground and leave it there. And then bhandara ho jata hai. Becomes bhandara to birds. Vayobhihi adyate. All the birds, the vultures, they will be there. They will be hiding in their hiding places, but they know. And once they know there is bhandara waiting for them, all the vultures will come. And a nice bhandara will happen. That is what is going to happen to your body. Now, how do you want to cover so your body will not, you are not there, you are gone. You must be there to cross this ocean. When you yourself do not exist, either become the clay, soil, or become the bhandara to the birds and then come back as bird droppings. That is what is going to happen to you. And what ocean you will cross? That is the question. A very significant question. We'll come back to it.